an astrologer's day. This is in the form of story, and we know that story is always in past tense, simple past, past perfect, whatever may be there. But we use only the past tense. Using past tense, we have to study the story and astrologer's day. Actually, there was an astrologer, that person who can tell the future of his customers. Astrologer was a person who was very punctual. Punctual means who follows his timetable. At the time of midday, he attended the place of that market. Particularly, he sat there under a tamarind tree. There was a buck under the tamarind tree, and his professional equipments were with him. What were the professional equipments he had? Particularly the cowries. Dozens of cowrie cells, a square piece of cloth with obscure mystics charts. Obscure mystic charts means they are difficult to understand for others. The chart could be understood by only the astrologer. He had a notebook to write down the address of the people. He had the notebook to write down whatever the notes he could understand, he could consider about the customers. And a bundle of Palmyra writing. Palmyra writing means small pages of palm size. Small pages of palm size, and there may be the written future of different people. We know that an astrologer had a parrot also. What is the function of that parrot? To select a card. That card means Palmyra card. That card means Palmyra card. And what is the work of the astrologer? To read out the card. Whatever written on that card may be the future of that customer. So like this, Palmyra writing is a speciality of the astrologer, and his forehead was very special. His forehead was very special, resplendent with scared ash. Resplendent. What is mean resplendent? Here we have the meaning of resplendent. Means bright, dazzling and impressive. Means very attractive forehead. His forehead became very attractive because of the sacred ash and vermilion. Vermilion. This is vermilion. And his eyes sparkled with a sharp, abnormal gleam, which was really an outcome of a continual searching look for customers. Always he was in search of the customers. And when people looked at him, looked at the astrologer, he called the people and let them sit in front of him and say, I shall see your future. Don't worry, just give me your palm. And looking at the lines on your palm, I can tell your future. People particularly became attractive. People attracted to him. People attracted to him, and he was very serious about the clients also. So, prophetic light and felt comforted. The power of his eyes was considerably enhanced, means increased. Increasing power we can see in his eyes, in the eyes of the astrologer by their position placed as they were between the painted forehead. How is the forehead of the astrologer? It is painted forehead and the dark whiskers. You know, he had the whiskers. He has the whiskers, and that was dark, and that was also the characteristics of the astrologer. And his his cheeks became very attractive because of that. He was a witty person. He was a witty person means he makes jokes related to the customers, related to the clients, and always there may be the sparkling in his mind. Sparkling means happiness, we can say, in his mind. To crown the effect, he wore a saffron colored turban, which is on the head. And what is the color of the saffron? What is the color of the turban? That is saffron color. Saffron means bhagwa color, we can say. He owned a saffron colored turban around his head, and the color scheme never failed. There is no compromise about the color scheme. There is no compromising about the color scheme. People were attracted to him as bees are attracted to cosmos or dahlia stalks. He sat under the bug of a spreading tamarind tree which flanked a path running through the town hall. So there was a town hall in that city, small city, and in that town hall, at the town hall, there was a big tree, tamarind tree, and he sat under the buds of tamarind tree, which flanked a path running through the town hall park. It was a remarkable place in many ways. So that place became remarkable, well known for people. Why? Because he sat there always, and that tree was very famous because of the astrologer. A surging crowd was always moving up and down this narrow road. How was the road? The road was narrow. But how was the crowd? The crowd was very. The crowd was too much. But how was the road? The road was narrow. From morning to night. People came there from morning to night. And always we find the crowd. But what was the timetable of that astrologer? Astrologer came there at the mid time, means about 12. At the mid time he came there and sat there for a long time till the night. A variety of trades and occupations was represented all along its way. What was the specialty of R.K. Narayanan? R.K. Narayanan depicted the society. R.K. Narayanan depicted all the people throughout the society with their characteristics, with their businesses, with their attitudes and whatever may be there. So in this lesson, R.K. Narayanan depicted, gave an example of the traders. Like a lot of traders were there in that market. For example, medicine sellers were there. Sellers of stolen hardware and junk were there. Magicians were there. And above all, an auctioneer of cheap clothes. Means auctions were there. Auctions of the cheap clothes were there. If you don't know the meaning of the word, you can handle the dictionary for that, but I think you could understand the meaning of auction. So auctioneer of cheap clothes were there, who created enough deal all day to attract the whole town. So by this way, the may attract the people, because her mal is there, very cheap price of the particular thing, and so people attracted there to purchase the things. Next to him in vociferousness came a vendor of fried groundnut, and this is the main attraction of the particular bazaar, the particular market, because this vendor had the groundnuts, fried groundnuts. This vendor had the fried groundnuts, and who gave his ware a fancy name each day. Every day his calling was different. Some days he said Bombay ice cream walai, like this, and on the next day he will call Delhi almond walai, and on the next day he could call Raja's delicacies walai, and so on. So every day he changes his attitude. Every day he changes his crying system. And so people attracted to him. But he sat only beside the beside the astrologer, and so astrologer became very disturbed. The total crowd, the total noise of that vendor, may be disturbed to the astrologer, and so that astrologer wanted to deny that person. The astrologer transacted his business by the light of flare. At the time of evening and at the time of night too, he had to sit there for a long time. But at the time of night or darkness, he used the light of that vendor who sold the fried groundnuts. So, like this, R.K. Narayanan depicted the total marketplace very attractively. When we start to read the market or market situation, we cannot stop our reading, because in our imagination, we particularly could feel the marketplace that have benefit of municipal lighting. So there were the municipal lightings also, but the lightings were off, and so there was no benefit of the municipal lighting, because always, though the poles are there, municipal poles are there, but without the lighting. So what is this? This is the situation in our village. This is the situation in our town and cities also. Many times in our lane, gully, we have the poles of electricity, but we don't have the light. So the same situation was there. There were the poles of electricity, but no lighting. Half the enchantment of the place was due to the fact that it did not have the benefit of municipal lighting. The place was lit up by shop lights. Every shopkeeper had their own lightings, artificial lightings, and they used that artificial lighting, shop lighting, at the time of night. One or two had hissing gas lights also. The artificial lights as well as the gas lights also. Some had naked flares stuck on poles. Some were lit up by old cycle lamps, and one or two, like the astrologer, managed without lights of their own. So, how was the astrologer? The astrologer managed without his own light. He used the light of other people and continue his business. So, it was a bewildering crisscross of light rays and moving shadows. This suited the astrologer very well, for the simple reason that he had not in the least in the list intended to be an astrologer when he began life. And he knew no more of what was going to happen to others than he knew what was going to happen to himself next minute. What is the real condition of that astrologer? The astrologer didn't know anything about others' future. Why do we think about others' future? That astrologer didn't know his own future too. But what was his profession? To tell the future. So, how is this profession? Just, it depends on his experience. As he talked with the people, as he talked with his customers, the customers gave him a lot of information, and according to that information he gives and tells something about him, about the customers. So, he was as much as a stranger to the stars as were his innocent customers. How were the customers? The customers were innocent. And how was that astrologer? That was very brilliant. And so, he took the information from the innocent customers and add something and say the customer's future. Yet he said thing which pleased and astonished everyone. So, how were the things expressed by the astrologer? They were astonished, means attractive. They were very nice. His talking was very nice. He had the peculiar system of talking, and people, particularly the customers, liked that talking. Yet, that was more a matter of study, practice, and shrewd guesswork. So, how could he tell the future? That was more a matter of study. He had a lot of study, means experiences of variety of customers, and also practice. He had a long life practice, more than 20 years or 30 years, and so he could tell anything. He could tell something about the customers. And shrewd guesswork. What does mean shrewd? Shrewd means good at judging people or clever. Who was clever? That astrologer was very clever, and he could judge properly to the customers, and so he could tell the future of any customers. And he deserved the wages he carried home at the end of the day. So why did he go there? For his bread and butter, for his earning he went there, and that is wages. Wages means the income. Wages means the earning of the astrologer, and by this way we can understood how is the astrologer.